Hello everyone, welcome to our channel. I'm YY. So what's a better day than today to introduce you all to our beloved motorhome and its electrical systems. In this three-part video, I'm going to show you the battery system, inverter system, as well as the solar system and the automations on the living quarters. So here we go. This part I will introduce you to the batteries and the inverters. Well, to give an overview, we have 3,800 watts of solar panels on the roof with a slider system. The battery, we got 620 amp hour at 24 volt. That's our house battery. And then the inverter system, we've got two of the multi-plus 3,000 volt amps, consisting of 6,000 volt amps at 120 and 240. The US house voltage. Also, we've got more than 200 amps of 24 to 12 volt voltage converter to feed the house side of the electronics. So the main battery system resides behind this water heater in the back. And obviously you cannot access it from here, so it will be accessed through this compartment. And the old battery is actually in here, the rear part, alongside with the start batteries. The start battery is on the top, and the old house battery used to be right here. Because I moved the house battery to the middle of the coach, so now this part is just the storage. And this part houses some electronics that I'll show you later. So let's get started with the house batteries first. So this is the second pass-through compartment of the coach. All this space is available for us for storage. None of the battery system has occupied this part of the system. And this is where the magic happens. I have the batteries set up at an incredibly compact. This rack is a custom-made wood rack of the house battery system, and it has two layers, one on the bottom and one on the top. And this is one battery, consists of 8 of the 310 amp hour batteries, going from this side all the way to there behind the inverters, and another one on top, same setup. Right here, and this is one of the BMS controlling this battery, and this is the other BMS. It sits back against the back wall there, and then coming out from the battery, it loops around. These are 1-knot gauge battery cables, and it loops around from that side, goes to that side, and then comes to this master on and off switch. If any emergency happens, I can just switch this to off. It cuts off everything coming out from this 24 volt massive house battery. And then going from the switch to the links distribution bar, right here, this feeds all the energy needs we've got, and the power in and the power out. It has the solar power in. It combines all the current usages we've got, either charging or discharging the battery, and it feeds off from this central location. And then coming out from here to our Victron multiplexes. Obviously, one is right here. As I said, we've got 2 of those inverters. And can you guess where is the other one? Well, simple. On the other side of this wall. You cannot see it from this side, but there you go. And there you go, that's the other one. So this one faces to that side, and the one behind this faces to this side. So that's our 2 inverters. Well, because it's such a massive system, I'm gonna just introduce the DC side first, and then on the AC side. On the DC side, Multiplus will charge the battery, obviously using the AC power, and then we've got 3 of the 24 to 12 volt converters, Victron converters, and they reside in the back of the coach. Just behind the start battery is all the electronic, and you can see here, that's 2 of the 24 to 12 volt converters. These convert 24-volt house battery to 12-volt house voltage that feeds all the lights and water pump and all that thing. Well, this is the other side of water tank bay. In there, you can see on top, that's the third 24-volt to 12-volt converter. And that's about it to the voltage converters. Aside from the voltage converters are those solar charge controllers. And I've got not one, not two, but three charge controllers that are feeding power to the battery right now. And this is the massive one, 250 volts and 70 amps of charging power. And on top is 150, 45 and 130. And I'll introduce the solar system later, but this is the solar part of the DC side related to the batteries. And then back to the back side of the electronics. These two are for alternator charging the house battery. So when I'm on the road, when the engine is running, the alternator will produce 14-volt-ish voltage, and then this converts the 14.8 voltage to 27 volt, provide 20 amp each to charge the house battery. And then behind the starting battery are three of those Victron units again for various reasons. This one uses the 24 volt coming off the multi-plus aux charging part to charge the start battery right here. So it's basically an AC charge start battery here. And in the middle one, that's as labeled, it's house battery charge starting battery. Basically that converts the 24 volt from the house side of the battery to charge the starting battery again. So the difference between those two are when I'm hooked onto shore power, I'll use that one to charge the start battery mainly. When I'm not hooked to the shore power, I'll use solar power and then use that one to charge the 12 volt starting battery. And then lastly, we've got there the same thing as the one that we just saw in the back there that uses the alternator to charge the house battery. I originally only have one of that to charge the house battery, but I feel like because I updated the alternator, I can use a little bit more juice from the alternators. And that concludes the DC side of the battery system. Let's go back to the battery bay to see what the AC side has to offer. I forgot to mention that this is the master shunt, the Victron shunt, to measure all the power in and out of the battery. And that connects to the negative side of the battery, which comes off those two BMSs. And this is the master output from master negative of the battery that connects to all the rest of the coach here. Back to the AC side again, we got power distribution from the Lynx distributor and then feeds to the multi-plus here, two of the multi-plus, one here, one in the back there we just saw. And then from those two multi-pluses, we've got both legs of AC coming from two of the inverters, so they are set up to be 120 and 240 setup. Each of the multi-plus feeds one leg of the distribution panel on the inside, and that runs absolutely everything, including water heaters, microwaves, induction, stovetop, and everything. So when I am hooked to the shore power, it will be a little bit more complicated. I have power coming in from the back side of the coach. And yes, I did add this little housing as well. So I put this in. Original factory setup, we got a marine style cord plug right here. I just cut that open and put in a cord reel. It's so much more convenient. I digress. And here we've got a 50 amp plug coming out front here. Let me retract that back here. 50 amp coming from here and runs across the coach on the inside, and then it feeds into this automatic transfer switch right here, the surge guard in the back right here. One side of those contactors, one here and one here, is from the shore power, and the other is from the generator. I believe that one is from the shore power. So if I'm hooked onto shore power, that contact will engage, and then I'll have voltage coming from this to this thing. And this, yes, is my secret weapon. I call it voltage selector. What it does basically is when I have 240 volt coming in, it will just be a pass-through. It goes directly from this box and through a few contactors, feeds into two of those multipluses. And the interesting part is when I'm not having 240 voltage, meaning I'm only have a one side of the leg, which is 120 volt, or I'm having the generator to feeding the whole coach. I'll have the current directed from this box to the auto transformer that's in the back. I'll show you. And here we are. I know it's a little bit difficult to see. This one right here in the back of the multiplus. The back I have another blue box. That's auto transformer. At this setup, what it will do is boost the voltage from 120 to 120 to 240. It has some complicated schemas, but we can skip that. Just assume 120 volts from here going into the auto transformer on the other side, and then comes back here. Boom, we've got 120 240 watt voltage again from here, and then from this side it feeds to two of those multipluses. So essentially, for those two multipluses, they always see 120 240 voltage, no matter what voltage I have inputting. Either it's a true 50 amp 240 shore power, or it's a 120 generator, or it's a 120 regular household plug. The multipluses always sees 120 240 voltage. And then coming out from those two inverters goes to the inside power distribution panels that I'll show you in a little bit. And this is the inside of the coach, the bedroom part, and we've got two distribution panels. And from those two inverters, that feeds into those two distribution panels. This is supposed to be the main panel, which controls everything. And this is the secondary sub panel, which used to have the output from the old inverter. And that concludes the first part of the video. On the next one, I will show you the solar part of the system on the roof right there. And thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.